let's see what we have. Oh, come on, it's not that dramatic. Sup guys, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Transformers Studio Series 102 Voyager class Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. Now, starting off, this is a really good figure, and he has unfortunately a buzzworthy Bumblebee, aka Target exclusive. Now, I believe this figure came out in Wave 21? I don't know, he wasn't part of the main line. I guess the designers at Hasbro thought it was quite a bit of a ludicrousy to have 3 Voyagers in one wave, so of course they rat out one figure and I guess made a deal with Target to let this guy be a buzzworthy exclusive. Because if I'm being totally honest with you, these two would not be eligible for a Target exclusive. They would just not sell, or not sell as quick as Optimus Prime, of course. So thus they decided to keep this guy as the buzzworthy exclusive, and these two for the main line. And of course, with Optimus Prime being a Target exclusive, there's one problem with that, and one problem only. He was hard to find. You know, I've seen about like a good 6 Bone Crusher, like buzzworthy Nest Bone Crushers in a Target, but I've heard the highest case of Optimus Prime figures Target could get was 3 per selected Target. Why do I say selected? That means some Targets had it, some Targets didn't. And I guess Targets that had it barely had any. Like, was there even one Target with a case of 6 Optimus Prime figures in just one store? I don't know. Well, anyways, I got this guy for pre-order because I wasn't gonna try to risk finding him or end up not finding him, and then I'm like, oh shoot, how am I supposed to get this guy? I ended up seeing him once in the stores. Did a whole short, did a community tab, and left it there for someone else. I didn't really see myself having 2 of these guys. That's a little bit too much. One's just enough, and it's perfect. Starting off, painting and sculpting, pretty good. They did a good job on the details, especially with a little bit of mechanical detail. Not as much as the Bavers, of course. Although I do like how they have mechanical detail on the side of the arms, and I really like the hands too. Oh, and this time the legs are much better. And the way they close in to form the legs are much handled better. Oh, and the feet are much better this time around. Now, the only problem I have with this guy's feet is that they're not painted gray. The only part that was painted blue was like somewhere around the back over here, and this ridge right here. Believe it or not, I feel like that was reminiscent to Baver's Optimus's foot. Remember how his foot was all gray, but then there was that one blue ridge that was all blue? Also, one thing that is a drastic improvement over the mainline Voyager Optimus is definitely this head. It looks much better. Oh, and I do like the chest piece as well. Just like the mainline Voyager, if you ever see this guy out in the store, I guess the first thing you glance at is this whole chest piece demanding a look at it. Also, I do like how the Autobot symbols are slapped right on his shoulders right here. And some people are complaining that the smokestacks are too big. I'm okay with it. Hey, it's funny because it causes the, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? That kind of thing. Okay, anyways, turning to the back, of course, it's handled nicely. Except there's a whole lot of holes and a little hollow gap right here. And some kibble. Unbelievable. I think it's handled pretty nicely. Also, the wheels are really cool too. Also, I do like how they molded the back piece, just like how they did with the SS-38. I just wish they painted that one part that was like gray around here. So yeah, that's the details. You know, when they said they were going to do a little bit of updates to the Bumblebee movie one, this is not what I had in mind. They completely redid this figure. The only thing from the 38 mold that they've kept are, believe it or not, the windows over here and the wheels. Everything else is just a brand spanking new mold. And I like it. It looks cool. It looks much more accurate. Alright, well anyways, let's just get down to his only 2 accessories. Starting off with the sword, I think this is a really good mold for the sword. It's too bad he doesn't have the orange, you know, for the heat thingy, whatever you want to call that. I can't think of the proper word for that, but of course the sword was orange. With of course some blue lights somewhere around the grip. I don't know, budget stepped in and said, no, too much money. Anyways, there's a blue tip right there that pegs into that slot. If you want, you can just move the hand down a bit and plug it in. Now, I gotta say, this is really cool. Now, at first, I thought the sword would just simply plug into that hole right there, which it does work, but like it doesn't show much of the sword, and yeah, that's a little goofy. What's not goofy is he could hold the sword. That's cool. Almost looks like how he was holding his one sword, or that one sword from Dark of the Moon, kind of like this. Anyways, moving on to his little, let's be honest, this is a Stinger cannon. Also, this is way too tiny. I remember in the movie it was a little bit bigger than this. And the gun had some red pieces sticking out as well. Anyways, put it on. You just like plug it right here and hope it stays. No, I'm kidding. What you're going to do is you're going to open this whole section up, close in the hand, close that in, and then there will be a hole right there that pegs into that tab. And, yeah, there you go. You know what? The gun ain't so bad. I like it. I think it's fine. And, of course, here he is with all of his weapons. Now, he was originally going to come with an axe, but since the budget was already too high, they decided to give the axe to the leader class Optimus Primal, in which that figure already has a lot of accessories, so it makes sense that they used 40% of the budget for the accessories, with the remaining 60% for the figure, which led the figure to be a little bit smaller for a leader class. So, hopefully, if Hasbro ever decides to do an Ape-A-Link, I hope they upscale it a bit, since Ape-A-Link would probably only come with like 2 accessories, that being his 2 little sidearm blades. I'm assuming the budget for those sidearm blades would be like 20%, with the remaining 80% for the Ape-A-Link being, you know, a little bit bigger than Optimus Primal. I mean, it would make sense to do that for Ape-A-Link, as he was bigger than Optimus Primal. And with this being Studio Series, of course, they have to be as movie accurate as possible. But why am I talking about Ape-A-Link when I'm doing a review of Optimus Prime? I have no idea. I should stop talking about Ape-A-Link. Anyways, for the accessory or weapon storage, you just plug them on to these small little holes right here. Or you could have them plug... Actually, no, there's a screw right there. I was hoping you could plug it on that hole right there, but there's like a screw, and it's kind of gonna get in the way of the sword plugging onto there. Just leave it like this. Now, of course, comparing him with some other accessories from other figures, here he is alongside the big War for Cybertron Gamer Edition Optimus Prime's axe. This axe was the reason I got the Gamer Edition Prime, because I thought Hasbro wasn't gonna do the axe for Rise of the Beast Optimus until Optimus Primal came out. So yeah, that just made getting this not really worth it anymore. And besides, the axe is way too big for this guy. It fits more on Chatimus Prime, of course, that being the Gamer Edition Optimus. Oh, since we got these little bigger slots right here, you can just plug that tab onto there, and he'll just hold the axe like so. Let me put it on the other one, so that way it looks a little better. Here, I switched the blade. There we go. Stay. Yeah, this is loose. Never mind about it. Here he is with SS-38, Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster, and I gotta say, he looks pretty good with it. Not sure where it was in Rise of the Beasts. I guess when he was escaping the Decepticons and Cybertron in the Bumblebee movie, he kinda lost the gun. I don't know, maybe. It would make sense. The Millennium Falcon lost that little satellite, and of course they swapped it out for some goofy looking satellite for the Star Wars sequels. Yeah, I'm talking about Star Wars, of course. Also, one thing I noticed is that there's this lip over here that prevents this side from trying to tap onto here. Without that lip, the gun would be a little bit more loose for this guy to hold, of course. And of course, weapon storage works well for the Ion Blaster. And if you want, you could throw on mainline Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime's Ion Blaster. This is one puny little gun. Not gonna lie, it looks better on the mainline Optimus. Also, as you can see, this one's missing the lip that's supposed to stop this backside from, you know, landing on this. And it makes things harder for this guy to hold a gun. I guess he still holds the gun fine. Now, before we get into articulation, I forgot to talk about one more thing for the chest. When I saw these metal, small metal rods right here, I thought this chest was gonna split apart, just like in the 38 Optimus, but no, they just open like that. Boring. Anyways, let's just get down to articulation. Ball joint at the head, ups and downs, and a swivel. Full rotation at the arm, bend at the shoulder, bicep swivel. Double bend at the elbow, wrist can move up and down, and can swivel, waist swivel, ab crunch, side skirts move out, which allows us spread out the legs, leg can move forward, and of course there's that new hinge joint that's a little bit more forward on the crotch rather than in between the crotch, which allows for a beautiful forward for the leg. However, it does unfortunately sacrifice the leg moving backwards. Anyways, of course, there's a thigh swivel, bend at the knee. Due to that ball joint right there, there is a double pivot joint for the foot. Foot can also move up and down and can swivel. Anyways, let's just get down a size comparison. Mainline Optimus Prime, Mainline Optimus Primal, 38 Optimus, Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, 05 Optimus, SS32 Optimus, and cause why not, Yellow Park Optimus Prime, Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Soundwave, which is another exceedingly movie accurate figure and has those goofy shoulder joints. Buzzworthy Nest Bone Crusher, which is another buzzworthy Voyager. Core Class RC, Studio Series Bumblebee, Mainline Pablo, Studio Series Battle Trap, and lastly, Studio Series Scourge. Now, one thing I feel like I should address is, you know how with 05 they updated him for the 32 Optimus? Well, I feel like that's something they did with 38 and then later came around and did an update with the Rise of the Beasts version. I'm just saying. Anyways, now let's get down to transformation. Alright, so what you're going to do first is you're going to open this up, fold in the hands, do the same thing with the other side, and make sure you move this whole gray section right down there. Just leave the smokestack like that. I think it'll stay in place with this holding it right there. And then you do the same thing with the other side. So what you're going to want to do is open the chest up and move this whole gray section up. Make sure it closes Optimus Prime's face. Move this whole head section down. This must be dizzy for Prime. Close in the chest pieces. And next we can work on the legs. So leg transformation is much more simpler this time around. What you're going to do is open this up. Move this out, leave it upwards like that, close that in, and there will be a, you can't see it because of the shadow, that's annoying. But anyways, the foot is going to close in. There's a slot somewhere around this little part right here that will tab in right there onto that tab. You do the same thing for the other side, and I recommend you just put the sword in now because it'll be a pain in the butt to put the sword in later. There's a tab over there that pegs into that slot right there, and that blue piece over there will tab in right there, and then you could just go ahead and close the both legs in. Oh, and close in the side skirts as well, and just leave these down for now. Open up the backpack, move this whole section up, rotate, and it's much more easier this time. So yeah, I guess that's why they decided not to mold the chest pieces to spread open, because there was a little difficulty with that when rotating that whole chest area. Anyways, you're just going to open all of this out, leave it like that, rotate this whole section right here, rotate that, make sure everything is like that, leave that out like this, and this will open up like that, which is weird, and then make sure everything closes in, and close that in as well. Make sure you fold these pieces down as well. You do the same thing for the other side, then you can just go ahead and make sure everything tabs into place. It's pretty much the same thing like S38. It's just this time instead of that slot tabbing in over there, which is like basically the same thing from S38. I saw that again. There's a tab over here that tabs onto that slot, which I think was something that wasn't in the Bumblebee movie Optimus. I don't know. Oh, and straighten it out so that way the tabs on the bottom over here tab onto the slots, because there's some slots on like the side of the thighs over there. Open up the wheels, close in the whole front bumper thing-ish, kind of. And then lastly, open up the little smokestacks. And there you have the alternate mode. Now, if you look in the front where all the red is, yeah, the truck is good. But then you look at the back and you're like, what happened? Also, if you want to use weapon storage for the gun, it just plugs in right there. And I guess the Stinger cannon could serve as like rear defense. But anyways, this section right here looks pretty bad. At least they could have molded this section to fold in. Oh well. I guess they decided to sacrifice the alternate mode for a better looking robot mode. Oh, and here he is compared to the 38 Optimus Prime's alternate mode. Not only is SS38 Prime's truck mode better, it's taller. And to me, that's not cool. Also, the back right here looks way much more accurate in, like, for Rise of the Beast Prime's truck mode than the Rise of the Beast Studio Series Prime. If you recall, there was that one shot in Rise of the Beasts where Prime was bouncing down from the mountain from that final battle. And you could see this. The backside that you see here for 38 Optimus is exactly what the backside of Optimus Prime's truck mode looked like in Rise of the Beasts. Whereas with this guy, they didn't even bother to add the little trailer hitch. Hey, smokestacks are better, or at least in my opinion. Also, I don't like how there's nothing holding the smokestacks from closing in. That kind of sucks. This piece right here used to do that for 38, but not for 102 Rise of the Beast Prime. But hey, at least for Rise of the Beast Prime, he has a better looking bull bar than the mainline Rise of the Beast Prime. I believe the mainline Prime's bull bar was just smushed into the front of the truck. There is a toy company that is in partnership with Hasbro to do Rise of the Beast's Transformers vehicles from the Rise of the Beast movie. And they do have one for Optimus Prime, and that truck mode looks really cool. So if you want an accurate looking truck mode for Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beasts, I suggest you get that. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have to say for this guy. If you don't have this figure, I recommend you pick him up. Although I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't have this, can't find it, but they really want it. And of course, since finding Optimus Prime in Target wasn't working, there was of course that false leak where this guy did like some photoshopped box set of Optimus Prime versus Scourge from Rise of the Beasts. However, I believe that was proven to be fake. I'm not sure how. But anyways, that discouraged a lot of people as they really wanted this guy. However, I did hear from somewhere that they're going to re-release this guy, but in the regular mainline box. You know, the one with the black, red, and blue kind of boxes. Not this garbage. One problem I have with Buzzworthy Bumblebee is that they always have the G1 renditions. I mean, enough of G1. Hasbro made Legacy just for G1 and other stuff. Also, the backdrop is pretty inaccurate. In the movie, I don't remember him being parked next to a building with blue patios like that. I mean, this right here just looks like a Lowe's or IKEA. Anyways, if you like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends. Be sure to turn on post notifications. That's if it works for you guys. Sometimes it doesn't work for other people. Not sure how that happened. Notification bell shouldn't be a problem, as notifications are pretty effective for people to know that you've posted another video. And for the notifications to not work, it's just weird. And a huge disadvantage. Anyways, most importantly, be sure to hit that big red button so we could pass like over 500 subscribers. That was a long time ago. I remember being stuck like at 500 subscribers for like a good year or so because I wasn't posting anything. Hold up, where was I? Oh yeah, I hope I pass 5,000 subscribers before 2024. I think we could do that. About a week after I reached 4,000 subscribers, I was already at 4,100 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Let me get to doing the Rhinox review. See ya!